Hey everyone, I want to share with you what has been the biggest breakthrough that I've had in my entire 30 plus career of medicine. We're calling it the secret sauce that has enhanced my patients' results. I would like to invite Dr. Shaun McKee, who's one of my colleagues, a double boarded neuroradiologist, a really smart young lady, I'm going to call her, and I'm going to invite her into the video. I got to figure out how to do that. So she's watching. Shaun, tell me how to invite you. We'll click on you. Add. Let's see if that works. Okay, I think she's coming on.
Hey, Deb, Dr. Viglione. How are you doing? We did it.
I'm doing great. I decided I'm a morning person. We got to do this in the morning.
Absolutely. So basically, the world needs to know what you're doing. Basically, you are kind of a different type of doctor. You've really wanted from the get-go, I think, to address the underlying cause of what's going on with your patients. And I'd love to hear the story about, why you are practicing the type of medicine that you're practicing and how you kind of came to recognize that allopathic medicine works best in combination with, traditional Eastern medicine.
Okay, it's kind of a long story, but from the time I was a little girl, wanted to help people. I wanted to cure them. I wanted to find out what was wrong and help them. Well, you get to medical school and you get a rude awakening because it's all about pharmaceutical drugs and treating symptoms, and you weren't really curing anything. I thought I would go into oncology originally, but was blown away in a bad way about what chemotherapy did to the body and said, we're not really doing what we need to be doing for people. And I practiced traditional allopathic medicine for years, was an intensivist in the ICU and did all of that and enjoyed it, but it wasn't fueling my passion. I really wasn't curing people. I was just helping them survive. So when I came to Gulf Breeze and set up a practice, I'd been in California for a couple of years and had learned about some natural herbs. Well, I started to tell people about some herbs. Pretty soon, a local health food store sent all of their people over here. And it just forced me to learn about natural medicine and how it can integrate with traditional medicine. And I started to really see things start to change.
Wow.
Well, nutrigenomics is a field that I got into before it had a name back in about 2006 when I started reading Amy Yasko's work on an MTHFR mutation in the gene and how it dovetailed with autism. And that's when I realized the power of nutritional medicine to manipulate gene expression and really started down that path, working with MTHFR. And as the field's advanced, we've learned a lot about other genes and gene expression and how we can manipulate that with nutrition.
I love it. And, because you kind of combine those two fields, Eastern and Western, it's really what I've basically heard from other people who go to your practice is you years ago had been able to get results that other physicians were not able to get with their patients. And that's fantastic. And that's why you have such a loyal following. But were there any problems with what you were doing, 4, 5, 6 years ago, doing this combination?
Yeah, and I know your story is similar, but when people would come to my practice and I learned I do a lot of diagnostic testing, I'd figure out everything that was wrong with them. And then I would typically send them out with a handwritten list of about 30 different supplements to take. And that was very difficult for patients. It was very expensive. They didn't like taking all those pills. It worked. They got better, but it was very burdensome. And
Yeah.
people didn't like that.
Right. And I imagine, even because of the burden and lack of compliance, and maybe even some of the patients that were doing everything, you still probably had some people that just you couldn't quite get all the way. You got maybe 70, 80% of the way there. So
That's exactly right.
how did you find out about nutrigenomics?
Well, that was basically with Dr. Yasko in about 2006. But I learned more when I met you. This was in 2014 at the World Congress on Anti-Aging and Regenerative Medicines held annually every year in Las Vegas. And you invited me to a lecture about oxidative stress. Now, at that time, we've been hearing about oxidative stress being the root cause of all aging and disease for about 10 years. We've been trying to combat that with antioxidants, basically taking vitamin C, vitamin E. Go to your local vitamin store, you'll see all of that. Everybody's trying to combat that with eating the rainbow, eating berries, taking your antioxidants. But we really weren't making a dent in reducing oxidative stress. When I went to the lecture that you invited me to and found out that there was a nutritional product out there that actually reduced oxidative stress 40% in 30 days, I was just blown away. I mean, got chills all down my spine, realizing that when I saw the data, and this is real scientific data, folks, this is the data that's done by university studies, I realized I had my hands on something that was going to change the world, was going to change everything about everything I did, that I was going to throw half of those supplements that I had in my cabinet away and waste all that money. But in the long result, I was going to help people because I was going to treat the root cause of what was wrong with them.
That is
I
awesome.
thank you for dragging me to that lecture.
You're welcome. And I love that you kept asking for more studies. I think we corresponded for 4 or 5 months where you're like, well, what about this? And how does it address this? And, you just kept looking for more and more studies and just, devouring them. So my question is, how did this change your already, awesome practice?
Well, I was already too busy, and then I got even busier. So I actually had to limit my practice because I was just inundated because everybody was telling everybody, hey, go see her. She got me better. But what I did was simplify things. I started people on this regimen that treats the core part of what's wrong with you with these gene activators. And then I would add maybe 1 or 2 things depending on the person's genetics and their individual problems. But they now leave here with a much smaller set of supplements. And it's been so much fun because it doesn't matter what's wrong with you. But when you treat oxidative stress and you treat mitochondrial dysfunction, the body heals itself. So it's been wonderful to watch people's labs. I started out checking them every 2 months. That was a little too soon. But doing about every 6-month labs, you can watch somebody's progress. And it really doesn't matter what they came in with, their labs get better. They get better. Sometimes they don't realize it's happening because it's so gradual. But, I have people say, I don't think this stuff is working. And then I'll show them their labs and I'll be like, I took you off 4 medications. What are you talking about? And they'll be like, duh. They don't put together that this is healing the body, so they don't require the prescription medicines that they did. It's been so much fun because I actually feel like, yes, I'm finally fixing people.
That is right. You're right. I mean, in oxidative stress, mitochondrial function and cellular membrane flexibility are not things you feel. You can't feel that, right? And
Right.
I love what you said. It doesn't really, they just get better. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. The thing to do is get the cells healthy, get the mitochondria working, get the gut healthy, and make sure that cellular communication can take place because the membranes are actually healthy, and the patient just gets better. I love that.
Yeah.
How simple
Yeah.
is that?
Awesome.
So I love that you've refined, optimized, and enhanced your practice, but I mostly love that you've been able to enhance, refine, and optimize the lives of your patients. And I know they love that as well. So thank you for all you do for your patients, for your community, for your colleagues. You're just awesome. And I just wish you the best. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Shaun. You're
letting.
awesome too.
Oh, I love this opportunity to interview you. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.